Hi everybody, this is Rita Holmes, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ohio. I got caught up on that one, didn't I? I'm here to bring you a video, and we are going to do a card with the beautiful butterfly set. We're going to use the stamp set, we're going to use the dies, and I've actually used some different embossing folders. I'll show you what all I've done as far as samples in just a second. I am going to refresh my page over here on my monitor so that I'll be able to see you guys, or see what I'm doing actually. There we go. So anyway, I'm here to also tell you that it is the last week for the celebration promotion. So if you have anything you need to order, especially like basics that you use a lot and you want to order so you can get something free, do that by Friday evening so that you make sure that you get your order in. It's going to be the last week to join Stampin' Up! on their current promotion, which is really, really great. If you need to talk to someone about that, I would love for you to talk to me. I am still looking for that last recruit that I needed. Haven't got it yet, but I'm not going to give up yet. I still am open to anybody that would want to join, whether they're a hobbyist or want to be a business builder. It doesn't matter. I'd say 99% of everybody that sells Stampin' Up! Came in as a hobbyist, and some of them have stayed hobbyists, and some of them are very successful hobbyists as far as getting one customer or a friend that orders from you to help you meet your minimums or stuff like that, and they just go on and they live happily ever after with just doing that. So if you are planning to order this week and order at least $99 here in the US, please look me up and let me help you with that so that you can join and get a discount. When I flip my camera down, I do have a host code if you would like to order from me that from my online store. I would appreciate that also. And I am sorry, my cat's laying on the table, and you all have seen Moxie, and I live my life in this video like live my life at home, and Moxie lays on my table all the time when I'm making cards. She loves to be with me. She goes room to room with me and stuff like that. I call her a puppy cat because she's like a puppy, but she's a cat. And so therefore you'll see her. If she gets too rambunctious, I will move her off of the table. So just wanted to let you know that you will see her, and she's my buddy. I love her to death, and I let her stay and watch videos. Someday I think she might make a card. She knows a lot about it. She watches every move I make with them. So with all that being said, I'm going to turn the camera down. I'm going to show you my samples, and we're going to get started, okay? So let me turn this, and there we go, down. And I'll move these into a little bit more of an area where you can see. And I'm going to show you my samples. So here's one, and this is using the butterfly embossing folder. And we have some new dies called Fancy Border dies that will be coming out on the online exclusives in March. And I've made 4 cards, and I've used 4 different ones that I thought would work out of this set. So I'm going to be showing you those. So this card right here uses this little die right here. And then you just put some DSP with it. I colored an extra piece with blending brushes to match my paper, and then did a sentiment, and I put a little butterfly on the inside. This card, and you'll see it all matches, was done with this die right here, and it makes that kind of thing. So this piece of DSP I cut 1 inch. This one I cut 1.5 because it goes deeper in so that you'll have enough so it'll all show on your card. This one, I didn't know how it would turn out. It is this right here. So I used that, and I used the So Swirly, and then I matched my colors. This one I used the plaid embossing folder, And all of these are available. And then I used the circles, and on that one I used this die right here. So, with that being said, this one I think it's just going to cut hearts out across it. I don't want to use it, and that one I would have to keep moving. And I don't want to use that on this type of card. So I'll probably use one. I'll use two of the other ones that I already did. So, and then I just put embellishments on there and did their bodies in colors that matched with what I used. And that's how I made these cards. And they are so fun to do. So, let's get started. And the first thing I'm going to have to do is bring in my big stamp, cut, and emboss machine. And let me roll that through so that it's ready to use. And we're going to even try 2 other embossing folders, I think. We might as well, because I think it would be fun. So here's what we're going to use. I think we're going to use the plaster painting one and the layered florals. I think I'll use those 2. So let me get what card stuff we're using. And right now, all we want to use is this 5 1/4 by 4. Should be 2 there. Pieces of white to do our cutting. We can't use our embossing folders. You want to cut first, because if you use the embossing folder first and then you go to cut the shape out here, that when you press that through the embossing machine again, it'll flatten all of your pretty die cut, pretty embossing. So let's do that, and I'll go back to this one. And all I'm going to do with this is move that plate out of the way for 1 second. I'm just going to add this to my card, and I'm going to cut a small piece off to and I'm using Post-it note tape. It comes like this on a roll. I get it from Amazon. It's less stickier than washi tape, and I like it a little bit better. So, and it doesn't take much. I use it all the time. So let's roll this one through. There we go. We have, so that's our edge. Isn't that pretty? So we don't need that. I'm going to actually peel that off since I've used it all. And I'm going to go ahead and cut another one out. I think I'm going to cut this one out again. I really like this one. So I'm going to take my other piece that I laid somewhere. Let's roll this back through. And this one I'm going to put just like so. And I'm going to take the tape off of this other one that I had tape on. Don't need tape on all of them. And I'm just going to add it here. I just want to hold that down. Okay. Get it somewhat straight. We'll wind that through. I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. Well, no, I'm not. We're going to emboss real quick. So I'm going to take that off. And there's that. I really like that. You can use it with so many things. I think borders are kind of neat to do. They just give your card a little bit of an extra oomph, maybe. Or whatever you want to call it. I call it a little bit of extra oomph. I'm going to set them off to the side. I have a frog in my throat. He's been there for days. I think he needs to go away. I'm going to move these, the number 2 and the 2 number 3 plates. We are not going to use those with these embossing folders. We will be using the number 4 plate. And these are Stampin' Up! Plates, so that's why they are numbered and called certain things. So I am going to take this and I am going to lay it in here and run it through. And you always want to put your hinged side to the back of your machine so that if there's any air in it, it comes out this opening and it doesn't split your hinge up there. So, get it started. There we go. Gives that little pop when it's done. So there we go with that. Isn't that pretty embossing folder? It's pretty just like that. And we're going to add a butterfly on top. The next one we're going to do is this plaster painting. And it looks a little busy. It actually goes with the mixed media flowers. That's what set it tends to go with. Make sure I get this right. So I'm just going to stick that in there. It really doesn't matter where. And I have my hinge to the back, and I'm going to put this in. And this just gives a nice little background, just a lot of textures, what it gives it. So, we have all of that cut. And we'll have to get the embossing machine out one more time when we get our paper ready to do cut our butterflies. So let's put this out of the way. Don't need it. We're going to bring in our cards right now, and we're going to go ahead and assemble what we can on those, and then we'll do our coloring on the scrap pieces. So this is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded. And as you see, we're going to make 2 cards. I've been doing that lately because that's just what I've been trying to do. It actually builds my stock of cards up. So we have that. Now what I'm going to do is for this one, I'm going to use this because it's a wider cut. I'm going to use this from Perennial Lavender. And I'm going to put that on with this right here. That's awfully pretty. My goodness. Okay, so let's take this. And we'll just leave a border around the 3 sides. That looks rather nice. Then we're going to put glue on the back of this. Now remember, when you're gluing an embossing folder, it's got all those deep cuts in it, so you want to make sure you get glue on there. I'm not saying put like real thick glue. You still want your lines kind of thin. But you want glue all over that so it holds it down. Okay? So I'm going to take and I'm going to turn that over. And I'm going to line this one up on this side, but I want to make sure that it lines up with my DSP pretty well. And then I'm going to put that down. And I'm going to rub it. That's deep. It's got a lot of texture to it. Actually, I'm going to bring this side down a little bit, so pull it back up, did it again, And that's good. And I'm going to get a baby wipe. I'm going to wipe the glue off of my hands because I got glue on me. Not a surprise. Okay, there's the first one. And on this one, this is a 1-inch strip, and it is the Wildly Flowering, I think it's called. I just went in and got some scraps out of my papers to use because that's a good thing to use for this. I'm going to lay this one down. And then this will go right on top of that. There again, I'm going to make sure I get plenty of glue to get into those cracks in there till it holds this with all the texture, holds it down. So let's put that to one side. You really want to make sure you get your edges down. That's what you might have to press on them again, but that glue is still sticky. So you want to just make sure you press everything down really good. So those cards are ready to do. What we are going to do now, we're going to bring this in, and I've got 2 pieces of cardstock cut 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. And that will hold both of my butterflies to cut. As I told you, we have that butterfly and then the little one, and it will cut those. So let's bring in the colors that we're going to be using for each one, because they're different colors. So we have to use different colors. So on this one, no, wait a minute. I got this in the front, so I'm going to use, for this one, I've got Shaded Spruce, which is the greens. I've got Gorgeous Grape, which is in the flowers. And I've got Berry Burst, and you'll see that like in little pieces of the flowers. So I thought I could bring those colors out. Now I usually start with my lightest color first, and they're all kind of dark. So I chose to start with Gorgeous Grape. And I'm going to take my blending brush, and I'm just going to put that on my card, or on my brush, and then I'm just going to brush some color, and it's not going to matter where I brush it, because I tell you what, they'll all look different when we get them done. So there's our Gorgeous Grape. Now we'll do Berry Burst. And Berry Burst, I'm going to use a smaller one because that's the color I have a lot of that on there already. I want to make sure there wasn't any other ink color in there because I just use them by color variations. So there we go. We got some Berry Burst in there. And then we will get some greens in there. So let's close that one. We're going to get out Shaded Spruce, and that's going to give us a lot of color. So I think I'm going to go with a smaller green brush. We're just going to add that green in there. It looks really pretty. And I make sure I color the whole piece because I don't know where I'm going to end up landing that butterfly. So there's that piece colored. So it might look like a hot mess now, but in the end, it's going to be okay. So there's those three colors. Now we're going to move on to the colors for this one, which I'm going to use Moody Mauve, which is right in there. Misty Moonlight, which is the little bit right in there. And Early Espresso, which is the browns. So let's go with Moody Mauve first, which is another pink color. So let me get a... We'll do this one. It says pink, so I'm just going to rub that into the Moody Mauve. I got a lot of it. It's a good thing I wiped that off, right? Moody Mauve is not a color that I tend to go with. Whoa. And that's probably why. Because it looks so dark. And that's all the Moody Mauve we're going to do. Then we are going to do Misty Moonlight. So you can just flip your paper around and put it where you think is best. And because the brown will cover a lot of these colors, I'm just so there we go. And don't worry about it looking bad, because once you cut it up, you won't notice it as bad. Now we're going into Early Espresso. Okay, I know you don't like me touching you when you're sleeping. That's okay, you'll live. So we got our brown. I'm just going to not going to add a lot of brown in here. I'll cover this spot up right here. Looks like a hot mess, doesn't it? We're going to see how it turns out. Hot messes sometimes turn out really well. Okay, now we're going to bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine again, and we are going to cut the butterflies. I'm bringing in the smaller machine now just because it doesn't take up as much room. But these, you can use the smaller ones. So let's get here's the stamp set that we're using. And I'm only using the two small sentiments right now. But you can actually stamp the big butterfly or the little ones. It's got different sayings in it, but I wanted something small. So that's why we're using that. I did tell you that I have PDFs over on my, if I didn't tell you, I have a PDF over on my Facebook group, Stamp Crazy VIP, which gives you a picture of the card and then everything, what you need to cut and how you make it. So those are over on Stamp crazy VIP. It's a Facebook group you have to join. But you get to look over 250 PDFs in there and videos. Of course, Stampin' Up! Is getting ready to take all the videos down, over 30 days old, because they say it's a storage issue. So, but they will be on YouTube. YouTube's not doing that, so we're lucky. I'm going to lay that right there. I think that would look pretty. It gets a number of color in it. And then I'm going to take the small butterfly, and then I'm going to get a piece of cardstock to cut the bodies. Since we're using that, I think I'm going to use shaded spruce as the body. So I'm just going to cut a piece about like so. The bodies aren't big, so I don't need a lot. In fact, they're small and skinny. So we're just going to cut all this out at one time. So we've got, oops, I got to turn this, I had it the wrong way. Not good. So we've got everything on there. We're going to push that and start it. So I'm going to run it back through this way. I want to make sure all of the little holes in the butterflies were cut. And what we're going to do is, let me get these off of here, then I'll show you what I do with them. And there we go, we got that one cut. So let me just move this for a second. I have this little box. It's actually one of my old paper pumpkin boxes. And I bring my butterflies in and I just run that over. It gets all of the little stuff out, and then I'll take that off as soon as I do this one. But you just run that over. Make sure everything's out of it. And those will pick out, so let's do that. We'll just put these in the little hole here, and it will bring that out. We're going to do the same with this little guy. He's little, his little body. It's cute though. Do a lot of you have the butterfly set, and have you used it? I really like it. For some reason, didn't get these little holes out. Well, pay attention to that. So now we're going to just peel this away, because you literally have to peel it out. And there's our butterfly. Let's get our little one out. There's our little one. And this, I just take and shake that off when it gets so full, and that's probably why the other one did not come out as easy. All the stuff. There we go. So let's cut the other one real quick, and then we will put everything together. Are you laying on my piece of paper? No, it's right here. Never mind. Go back to sleep. I'm sorry. Go back to sleep. I know you like die cuts too. You're crazy. Yeah, you're a crazy cat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over here like so. As soon as I can get it on the paper. And I'm going to put him down here in the blue. And then I'm going to get a piece of cardstock for him. So I can just cut a piece that will work. Cut it off of an old piece of scrap. I like using my scrap soap. So we'll put that there. We'll bring these little guys back in. Whoops. There we go. Lots of scrap here. There we go. We're going to get all this out of the way. It and the cat in the way is not feasible over here. Okay, so let's bring this little box back in. Let's punch him out. Wonder what he's going to look like. I think he looks pretty good, actually. Let's get the little one out. And then we have the bodies. Gotta get the bodies out. That's the little body. And here's the big body. I poke it out, then I push it back in with my finger. Oh, I think he's going to look nice. It's kind of scary there for a minute when you're coloring that paper and you think, oh my goodness, it's not going to be very pretty. But it turns out okay. So we have this one we're going to put together with that and the other one. And then we've got this one with this bigger one. Bright and cheery. And then what we're going to do is I thought I laid it over here. Let's see if I did. Yeah, right here. Had to move my camera. had stuff behind it. Oops, there we go. So I got these 2 pieces of paper, and that's my scrap for my stamping my sentiments. You got to roll over that way. And this is my stuff. You move over. You can't keep kicking the camera. And there you want to lean on it. What a cat. What a cat. What a cat. Okay, I'm going to stamp the So Thankful for this one in the Early Espresso, the brown. And it's going to go on this little bitty piece right here. So I'm just going to ink that up, being careful as I do it. And I'm going to stamp. That's a 1/4 inch scrap of cardstock, and I thought, well, that should work for that little bitty saying, and it works nice. It's kind of scary, but it works nice. And with this one, I think I'm going to use the shaded spruce. And I'll bring that green out a little bit. So let's just ink that up, and we're just going to lay it on there until it inks up so we don't get smudges all over the sides. And see how it just inks up really well. And then I'll stick that on there. Close my ink pad. I don't want to make a mess. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these out real quick. So that I can use them. And I'll show you how I put these together because I want my butterfly to be dimensional. So let's go ahead first, and I'm going to glue this on. So I'm just going to add some glue to it and glue it straight down here. So there's my happy birthday on that one. The cat's wore herself out, which is a good thing. And then this one I'm going to put down here. So thankful. Okay, now let's glue on the bodies. And what I do here, let me wipe the tip of that off. What I do here is I just take and put a little tiny bit of glue here on the body or on the butterfly, and then I stick my body on. Usually without that much trouble, but and I will go ahead and stick the body on the little one of that one, and I do the same thing. I just put a little dot of glue right in here. Just a thin line, and then I add him. Okay, now let's go ahead and we're going to put this butterfly, and there again, I just put glue on the middle. I put a little dot on his head and down the middle, and that's how I glue it to the inside. I'm just going to glue that down. And this, I'm going to take, this is my mini dots, and it has a wide edge here, so I'm just going to cut this. And I'm going to take it on the back here, and I'm going to add it just a strip right down the center of that butterfly. And you want to make sure you stay in the perimeters of your card so that it's not hanging over anywhere. So it turned out really nice. That color did. You wouldn't have thought so when we colored it, but you know, that's just it. We're going to come back and embellish that in just a second. We're going to bring in our 2 bodies for our butterflies, and we're going to glue these on. So while I got him in my hand, I'm going to glue him to the inside. Just take him, put a little bit of glue down on him right here. Doesn't take much. And we're going to glue him right there. There we go. Now let's take this butterfly, and again, we're going to put glue right here on his body, on the butterfly. And we're going to take and lay this down. And just hold it for a minute. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to cut another strip of this. And I don't cut it really, I cut it pretty thin. Well, that one already had a cut in it. So I use this, I might add another piece with it. Let me get this on here and see if I need another piece. And I think it's going to be fine just with that. And I will peel that off. Didn't want to come off. And we will stick our butterfly on here. Just squishing down there. And the only thing now we're going to do is we're going to add some embellishments. So for this one, I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to add the gorgeous grape. And get it to stick up here, that'd be great. Well, it didn't come off. There we go. I think I'll go down here with it. So there's that card done. And that's a nice birthday card. And then I'm going to put these away, and I'm going to bring in for this one, I think I'm going to use these brown sequins. Thought that would be different. So there's that one. So that is our card for today. I hope you like the butterflies. I do. And then we have our butterfly on the inside, and you can just write something in here. So those are some thank you cards and some birthday cards, which, you know, we need those. It's just nice to say thank you in general to people that's been nice to you and done things and different things like that. And the stuff sticks all together. It's crazy. All right, so that is our cards for today. I hope you enjoy them. Moxie enjoyed it so much she's sound asleep. And I hope you don't mind my kitty, but like I said, I'm very real in my videos. What happens at home can happen in my videos. I don't try to hide nothing or act so professional that you don't see me. So this is our video, and Moxie likes to be in them, so as long as she's not trying to play with me and knock me off. She loves to grab my hand and just do all kinds of stuff when she wants attention. So, but she was a good girl today, so we'll take that. So you guys have a great day, and remember, here's all the cards, and doesn't matter what kind of DSP you use, it doesn't matter the embossing folder. I've got 6 different embossing folders here done. The borders are different. The colors are different because you base that on your DSP. Use your scrap up. And it makes beautiful cards. Even just spring cards to say happy spring. You all ought to be happy with spring coming. So anyway, I will see you again soon, I hope. I hope you come and watch my Tuesday or my Saturday videos that are on Saturdays at 10:30. And you can always come and see those. They're geared very easy, which is nice. So we will be seeing you soon. I hope you guys have a great week. And just be safe, be blessed, and stay warm. Thanks. Bye.